$1 back with another video game review. And I said I was going to do this game. And yeah. This was the only console TNA game because, well, we know what happened. But yeah. This came out in 2008, the same year when SmackDown vs. Raw 2009 was going to be out like 2 months later. This game was launched, and also Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe was out, and Nicktoons Gloves of Doom, which I did, that as well. Yeah. Now, this was actually a good game, I thought. The controls are simple. The grapple is triangle. If you do want to modify it, it's L1 triangle. Finisher, the circle button. Circle button. Yeah, the circle button. L1 circle does a submission hold for like any body part between the head, arms, and legs. There's a stun mirror, which is like in 2K22, which just has one. When it's filled up, you are stunned basically. There's not that many matches. Like, there's no Lethal Lockdown or King of Mountain because I guess it's too hard to put in. The roster is good. You got your big names like AJ Styles, Kurt Angle, Samoa Joe, Sting, and a few others. But there are a lot of like Abyss, Kevin Nash, and Suicide, which you have to beat the story mode. My bad, the story mode. Tag team matches are not that great, let's be honest. They're kind of difficult, to be honest. There's these tutorials about some spot, like the basics, submission, the stun and finisher meter, and the Ultimate X. But yeah. Now let's talk about. Well, there's an all-in-all which doesn't work anymore. Now let's talk about the meat in the bone, the meat in the potatoes, basically the story mode. Your character is Suicide, which, fun fact, he debuts at the second Final Resolution, like a few months later. He becomes unstoppable in TNA, and then LAX says, take a dive and lose. But then you said screw that, you win the championship off camera, and then you get beat up by LAX and sent to Mexico. And I'm gonna say this in full detail on like my 2009 Destination X review. And then you have to create a wrestler, and then you start from Mexico, you win 3 matches, and you go to the US to fight a match, and then you face James Storm in a match. If you could beat him, you get a lifetime TNA contract, which you win also. This is a story mode you have to win every match. If you lose, you have to start the match again, which, that's fine. You go to the Impact Zone in Orlando, Florida, where Kenneth gives you a gauntlet. If you can beat 3 guys, including Jay Lethal, which you have to unlock him, you get started to TNA, and you win, and then Kenneth becomes your buddy. And then you face Robert Roode in a match, and then you're in a tag team in which you team up with Eric Young, call yourself the Salty Biscuits. You win a bunch of tag team matches, and then LAX comes back, and then your character remembers what's going on, but not that much. Then Kevin Nash calls on you on the phone and says, what's going on? And then, of course, you go to Japan for more tag team matches. After that, you face LAX and you win the tag team championships, but your reigns will be short-lived because some dark shadow guy, spoiler alert, it's Jeff Jarrett, sends AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels after you, and then Nash saves you. And then you go to the X Division, fight a bunch of other people, including Sanjay. By the way, they're just generic creator wrestlers because they're not that many wrestlers on the roster. Um, Daniel warns you, and then he goes to Japan to find more exhibition matches. And AJ Styles comes out and attacks you, and then you had a brawl between him and Styles, and then Samoa Joe comes out and stares you down, and you have 3 Ultimate X matches, led to Jeff Jarrett appearing and then told you you can have the X Division title, or if you lose, you have to do something for him, which you have to fight Daniels and Joe, which is not really a match because it's just one cutscene on the PS3 version. That's now on the PS2 version, you play that match. So yeah. And you win the X Division title, but then Jeff Jarrett tricks you, and then you start competing in the heavyweights, which you had to beat Rhino, and then you get to the bigger names like Rhino, Abyss, Christian Cage, and Sting, and Kurt Angle, which is the champion. You win those matches, and then you fight Kevin Nash, and then you face Samoa Joe in the Freedom Center, and then you get the world title match against Kurt Angle in Las Vegas, which is just the arena they pick for the game. You win the world title, and then you got your memory back, and then you face the final boss, which is Jeff Jarrett, and then he wants you to take a dive and lose, but then you say no, and then you play this match. And Jarrett is really hard at the end because there's no chairs around the ring, and yeah, this is a must-win match But I did it on the first try, that is, and then it ends with you and Joe, Nash, and Aragon celebrating in the ring, which is just the frame rates of winding down, and it has music playing around. It's kind of feel like a movie TNA would do in 2008 or 2007. So that's the entire story mode. It's a really fun story mode. You start a suicide, then you don't remember who you were, and then you become friends with Kevin Nash. And then Jeff Jarrett tries to manipulate you and Nash from your friendship at Nash. And then it didn't work for Jarrett, and then he loses the world title. But there's like a few nitpicks, like I said. Finding a bunch of generic creator wrestlers. And, that's like the only nitpick I have of the game. Overall, this is actually really good. I enjoyed the story mode of the game. The controls are good. The voice acting is really fun. Really good, actually. But the only nitpick I have with because some wrestlers are not in the game, and you have to fight a bunch of random creator wrestlers. But so yeah, that's TNA Impact. And I enjoyed the game. Now, next game review, I'm going to get back to the non-video game reviews. And, I think I might do... What game should I do now? Let's do another wrestling game instead. Let's do WWE 12. Bye. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll be back with my Sacrifice 2008 review. That is, bye.